أنا كنت أسوق الدراجة، فكنت على الرملة، فأخذاني الطيش شوية إني أجيب الدراجة يمين يسار يمين يسار. سبحان الله كانت في حصى تحت الأرض وضربت التاير اللي ورا، فانقلبت في الدراجة. أول ما انقلبت يعني كان شعور يعني نفس الصدمة، إيش اللي صاير يعني. أنا كنت أسوق دراجة فجأة أشوف عمري في الرملة. سبحان الله الدراجة يعني كانت شبه يعني كانت فوقي، بس سبحان الله قدرت أن أطيح فيني. فهذه الحمد لله إنها ميت لا في راسي ولا في ظهري، لا سبحان الله يصيبنا الشلل ولا شيء، بعيد الشر إن شاء الله. فكانت هذه شوية طيش. أنا من انقلبت على الدراجة فكانت ايدي متقطعة، فكان زميلي ولا أحد من الشباب اللي في السيارة نزل من السيارة فيقول لي يا راشد لا تطالع ايدك. فقلت الحمد لله هذه يعني قدر الله ما شاء فعل. فجزاه الله خير كان عنده كيس ثلج، يوم فتح الثلج خلى ايدي داخل الثلج. هذه نقطة ترى مهمة أنا ما ذكرتها. من بعد الله هذا الريال لو ما حط ايدي داخل الثلج كان شبه بتر، لأن يوم حط ايدي داخل الثلج أحيت الخلايا ما ماتت على طول. من وصلت الإسعاف الحمد لله تم الإجراء أن لفوا ايدي وأعطوني المخدر اللي هو المهدي الآلام ونقلوني إلى المستشفى. طبعا اخواني الكبار الله يحفظهم كانوا موجودين في المستشفى قبلي، صفقوني في المستشفى وصلوا هناك، وانا كنت طبعا في وضعيه تخدير يعني ما اشعر بعمري يعني.
When he came into hospital after a very severe injury to his left hand, when a quad bike fell onto his hand, causing a very severe crush injury. He was admitted to this hospital and he was taken to the operating theatre by one of my colleagues, who actually called me at about 1 o'clock in the morning to come and give him a hand.
طبعا أول شيء أنا الخبر أن راشد تعور، بس ما حد قال لنا كيف تعور ولا كيف شو صار في ايده، ما نعرف، بس نعرف أنه جت الإسعاف في الوقت المحدد وشلته على طول وراح.
قالوا يبغى لها عملية أو شبه بتر، يعني أول شيء كان الموضوع أنه بتر.
But there is a slight chance, and this is the good news, that we might be able to save the whole hand and get it back to normal, okay? I have a consent form here I need you to sign and we can go over it in the meeting room, okay? Can you please go over there?
So his hand was very badly crushed. All of the fingers, not the thumb, but the index, middle ring and little fingers had been disconnected from their blood supply. All of the metacarpal bones in his hand were broken and crushed, and he'd lost a very extensive amount of the skin and soft tissue on the palm of his hand and also on the back of his hand. So in the first operation, we spent the whole night cleaning up the wounds, stabilizing the fractures, and then repairing the blood vessels, the arteries and veins that supply blood to the fingers.
كان الخيار الثاني أفضل، فكان دكتور دن ما قصر، كان موجود بالعمليات الساعة 1 الليل، فدخلت أنا العمليات الساعة 1 ونص يمكن. فكانت مدة العملية ما يقارب 14 ساعة العملية الأولى. من ثم طلعت من العملية الأولى دخلت العملية الثانية اللي هي الترقيع، ما يقارب 14 ساعة، يعني كلها 28 ساعة. بعد غرفة العمليات ودوني القسم وعاملوني أفضل معاملة، ولكن أنا حاب أشكر الدكتور دن على تعامله اللي سوى لي إياه. يعني هذا الشيء مش بسيط، إنه واحد يتحدى شخص إنه شبه بتر إلى أن يرجع إيده يعني مثل ما كانت. هذا من بعد الله سبحانه وتعالى، لكن الواحد يقول الحمد لله، وهذا زادني معنوية ويتني يعني القوة والتحمل.
I think the point that his case demonstrates very well is that with these kind of injuries, it's not just one operation. It's often many staged operations which need to be done in a particular sequence, and the hand surgery needs to be integrated very carefully with hand therapy after the surgery to get the hand moving again.
بعد تقريبا يوم فجأة رد النبض الحمد لله، بس في صبع من أصابعه النبض ما رد فيه، فاضطروا إنه يبتروا صبعه. فالحمد لله يعني فضل ربي ردت إيده طبيعية، والحمد لله أنا مستمر على العلاج الطبيعي في مستشفى شخبوط وما يضيع أي موعد.
Over the time that we've been treating him, he's required a number of further operations. The main one being that I think around 4 months after the initial injury, we had to do another microvascular free flap to provide better soft tissue cover. And then over the next few weeks, we took him back to the operating theatre on a number of occasions. Unfortunately, the blood supply to his little finger was not adequate, so we weren't able to salvage that. But by transferring tissue from his thigh as a microvascular free flap, so that's when you take tissue with its own artery and a vein and connect that up to the hand so that it's alive, we were able to resurface the skin on the palm of his hand, and he required some skin grafts as well. And he then made a good recovery and worked very hard at his hand therapy to get his hand back to as good a function as it can.
كنا نزوره صبح ليل ما نخليه، كل ربعه كانوا موجودين يحضروا ونغير نفسيته. هو نمشي بعض مرات ننزله تحت نطلعه عن الجو اللي في المستشفى. كان دوم مقتنع في اللي يصير له، كان مستانس يعني يقول الحمد لله هذا أحلى شيء في ربيعي راشد. أحلى شيء في ربيعي راشد إنه دوم إيجابي، حتى يعني مهما صار له، يعني إذا حد ثاني صار له هالشيء بيقول ليش مثلا ليش صار لي وما صار حق حد ثاني. الحمد لله انه وايد ايجابي، وايد مقتنع على اللي صار له. الحمد لله بفضل ربي ايده ردت، صح انها ما ردت كامله بس ردت ويستعملها بشكل طبيعي.
Every day he would smile, every day he would be making jokes, every day he would be engaging with the staff. He brought a light to their work.
So, Rashid, how are you feeling? We're just going to do your blood pressure. Can you lift your arm up for me there? All right, and relax your arm down, okay? Okay. Check your heart rate as well, okay? The last thing we'll do is we're going to check your temperature. Can you open your mouth for me? And close.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Now, might have a little look at that arm. Can you just lift it up slightly for me? Okay, it looks good.
He struck me as a man who embraced the care and embraced the plan asked of him in his healing process.
So once they adapt to using their hand differently, you have to teach them how to use their hand properly again so that they don't remain in their pattern of adaptation, which doesn't take advantage of the benefit that you brought them from further reconstructive surgery.
Rashid initially came to us with a bandage on his hand. He was complaining of pain. He's saying that he cannot move his hand and he can't even hold a bottle of water. Initially, our plan of treatment for him was to give him a splint. This is to be able to protect his hand because he just had finished the surgery. After that, we started giving him some exercises to be able to move his fingers at first. It was an exercise that was very simple, but he found it very difficult. We spend most of our time with him educating him that it's very important to move his hand, and pain will be there, but we will be able to manage it by giving him some kind of modalities to reduce those pain. Eventually, he regained some motions. His hand was able to move much more better, and then this gave us an opportunity again to be able to have another surgery to reconstruct his hand to be much more better.
I've treated many patients in my career, and I can honestly say that Rashid has been one of the hardest working patients in his rehabilitation that I've come across. You can have somebody who has a fairly trivial hand injury who doesn't work hard at their rehabilitation, will end up with a relatively bad result, because if you don't move the hand after injury, it can get very stiff and ultimately not recover, and the joints can become stiff and they get to a stage where they're never going to move again.
أشكر جزيل الشكر إلى الدكتور لن، وأتمنى لك التوفيق للجميع، مش لي، للجميع المرضى، وإن شاء الله أنه بعد ما نشوف يعني مرضى، لكن أتمنى لك التوفيق ونشوفك إن شاء الله في مراحل مقدمة. أشكر مدينة الشيخ شخبوط الطبية على جميع الاهتمامات. شكرا من القلب.
And my staff all wish him well in the future, and we offer prayer for him every day.
We believe that he'll be able to maximize the use of his hand to be able to contribute to his country and to be able to have live a happy life.
We'll send Rashid our very best wishes for his continued recovery. We'll continue to see him in the clinic and watch him get back to normality, hopefully without having to have too many further operations. But in conclusion, we'd just like to send him all our very best wishes.
أشكر مستشفى شخبوط إن ساعدت ربيعي وردته على سلامته الحمد لله، وأتمنى له كل التوفيق.
فالحمد لله أنا يعني شعور طيب، يعني من بعد القلب يعني شعور طيب، يعني إصرار، يعني تحمل. حسيت إن حياة جديدة، حسيت تحدي جديد، حسيت إن من كنت يعني كل شيء أحسه سريع سريع، صرت لا الحين أفكر قبل أن أسوي شيء. صرت كل ما أتقدم خطوة يعني الخطوة هذه سليمة أو مش سليمة، حسيت إن أمور يتني، فلعل أسى أنها خيرة في هذه الدعمة. والحمد لله دائما الواحد يحمد الله ويشكره ويقول الحمد لله دائما أبد.